Welcome back to the channel. I'm going to go through some of the charts we've been looking at over the last few weeks and see what the updates are of them. This one is the Gbp Usd. We were looking at the head and shoulders pattern and we were looking for a break, which we've got. The break came through. Got a retest. Normally on head and shoulders pattern you'll get a retest of this structure before further moves to the downside. So we had a retest here. You can see this red candle here actually came up and touched that line and then backed away from it. We've opened another one up which has come up to the green. Wouldn't surprise me if Monday morning we open up in a green again, just to retest maybe again before we see it further roll over down, in which case it should be coming down and we'd see the strength of the dollar. Obviously we were looking at, I think we also had a ascending opening wedge on this. Just draw that in, because this may indicate where we're expecting it to come. So we could be looking at a target point of this area down here. Obviously this isn't advice on how to trade or by any means telling you what to trade. I'm just showing you what I'm looking at and things that I might be interested in. So this could, again, like I said, we could have a little retest here and then I'd expect us to roll over down to at least this area here. And that's the Gbp Usd chart. This was gold we were watching on the weekly. So again, head and shoulders pattern, left shoulder, the head, right shoulder. We were looking for a break. We got the break, got the retest, and then it rolled over. I'm expecting this. Really, with that sort of structure, it wouldn't surprise me if we have a little bit of a pullback before we come further down. I definitely think gold's got further to come down. In the long term, like I said, I do like gold. In the long term, I think gold is going to be a good one. But this short-term scenario, while we've got deflation, I think we're going to see gold roll over and come a little bit lower. In which case, then you look to enter to go long on it. But I think we could come down a fair way on this yet, and that's what I'm watching on gold. This was our Euro USD that we were looking at on the weekly. We had the ascending narrowing wedge, which we got a break of. We got the retest, which you saw in the last video, and now we're seeing the sell-off. Again, we could see maybe a little bit of a pullback before we come down further, but this literally has got the potential of even coming down to down here. Obviously not advice, I'm just showing you what I'm thinking of. It's all backing up the fact that I thought we'd see dollar strength, which I said a few weeks ago, 2-3 weeks ago, that I believed that the dollar was going to get stronger and everything was going to fall against the dollar, which we're seeing across the board of all the charts that we were looking at, from various patterns and different things. We're obviously in an area here where there's a decent amount of structure, so I would expect maybe tomorrow to have a little bit of a pullback, trying to test it, and then it'll come back down again. But there's a potential target all the way down to here really, which could be a really good one on Euro USD. I don't think it's going to go much higher at all. So this is US 30, top 30 companies on Wall Street. We were looking at this chart with the strong structure zone to the upside. We were looking at the rejections off of here, and then we were expecting a sell-off, which we got. It poked its head through, and then it came down to 35.26. It's had some strength. This, I believe, is off the back of President Biden stimulus being put through, and people buying the dip because the stimulus is probably going to push it up a little bit further if the truth's known. It'd be interesting to see if people pile into the market or whether they're a little bit more concerned now. Me personally, I would be a bit more concerned. I'm expecting a big sell-off in the market. I don't think there's much more for it to climb. The only thing that will make it climb, obviously, in my opinion, is the stimulus and people pumping their money into it, believing that it's going to be a strong, safe bet when really they should be a bit cautious. I'm being very, very cautious with our, even with our little account that we're doing on Etoro. I've pulled all of the stocks out and I'm just jumping in and out of trades. I'm trying to do more day trades, just as I don't want to be exposed to any particular stocks that may take a bit of a hammering, and that's what I'm expecting in this particular area. I think the only upside is obviously people fear of missing out, wanting to go higher and higher and higher, and that I just feel that there's going to be a tremendous pullback on this. So if you are in this, just be a little bit wary, be careful, and make sure that you can exit your positions easy enough. And yeah, good luck to you. This is the silver chart we were looking at on the weekly. We're getting our sell-off. I think we're going to get a major sell-off in silver, personally. The dollar's getting stronger. I think silver's being pushed back down as inflation, the fears of inflation kind of die out a little bit, because in my opinion it's deflation. We will get that later on, a lot later on, but I think we're going to see a significant drop in silver before we see a nice climb on it. And silver and gold quite often they'll move before the stock market takes a big dump. So as you see in silver and gold starting to sell off, it wouldn't surprise me in a delayed reaction you'll see the stock market sell off. I think you could see a significant drop, maybe $12–13 silver, which I know will upset a lot of people because they don't think it'll come down to that, but I really do think that's what we could be looking at. So it's one to watch. Again, massive lover of silver. I'm long-term silver, but obviously you get price corrections and people got to understand that you can't marry your investment. You got to understand that your investment, the idea is to make money. You can't just fall in love with it and think it's the greatest thing in the world. You just want to use it as a vehicle to generate some profit. So if you get a pullback, it just gives me a better entry point for when I want to get in and run it long again. But I definitely think we're going to get a much bigger sell-off in silver, and that's what I think is to come with that. This is the weekly chart for gold Barrick. Again, we were looking at this head and shoulders on gold Barrick, and we were expecting it to come down a fair bit. I exited a trade that we were holding on gold Barrick. I think we were 2074, 2044, something like that. We exited because I didn't want to take any more of a loss. I actually think this is coming down way more as well. I think we'll see gold Barrick in the $12 range. At the moment, we're having a bit of a retest. I'd expect it maybe to come up a little bit further. And then I'm expecting it to drop right off. I think we'll come down into this area. I really do. The dollar's gaining ground. People are kind of shying away from gold and silver a little bit. And yeah, I think we'll see it in the $12, $12.50 range, which would be a decent range then to possibly invest in it. It's not advice, it's just something I'm looking at. But these are the key areas I'm looking at. It's definitely got further to go in my opinion, it really does. We're back to our little trading account. So we've been a little bit busy. Obviously we sold off all the stocks that we were holding. Let's have a little look. So this is where we just got rid of all the stocks we were holding. Obviously, like I said before, explained on the last video, the stocks that I was in, they were fairly new companies. They don't allow you to have a stop loss. And with everybody trading cryptocurrencies on Etoro, I didn't like the shortages and the outages we were getting. I'd be trying to manage my trades and I couldn't access the site because it was shut down. Just the pure volume, I think, of people trying to get in to move their positions on crypto. As soon as there's a heavy position, a drop or a heavy climb in crypto, Etoro just, you can't get on it at all. So I don't mind holding trades that I've got stop losses on because you've got that protection there. But with these trades, I had no stop losses on, so where I couldn't access the site, I just didn't feel comfortable anymore. So I cut all of these trades loose. Apart from the gold Barrick trade, we cut that loose because I believe gold Barrick was going to come down. Saw the pattern, and which it did come down in the end, so we saved some money there. But these, we cut all of these loss, which obviously set us back, put us in the minuses. But then we've done some trades since then. We had a really good trade on gold, which returned 12.86% on return on investment. Did a USD CAD, which was 4.62% return on investment. A US dollar trade, where this is basically the trades I was doing where I believed the dollar was going to gain strength. We had a 3.86% gain. Had a rubbish one on the GBP JPY. Originally came into profit, then pushed straight back out of it, and we lost 24.35% return on that one. We had a US dollar one again, 2.54%. Gold, 0.32%. That was, I entered that and I changed my mind on it, so I got out of it with just a little bit of profit. A USD CAD trade, unfortunately, had the stop loss a bit too close to this. It came down, tagged us out, and then moved up to our area that we wanted it to go to. So you have these things happen sometimes. Don't take it to heart too much. Learn from it. So we should have had the stop loss lower in preparation, but obviously I hadn't moved it, and we got tagged out of that before it went up and actually went into profit. We got a gold trade at 20.14%, Euro USD trade at 0.21%, GBP USD trade, we had a really nice short on that, and that was 31.49%. We had a 1.19% on GBP JPY, and then a 1.95% on gold. So that's actually brought the account back to 11.45% for the year, closed trades, which I'm happy with. Our maximum we hit when we were really up was $317. We're now back to $301, so only down $16. We'll see if we can make that back. But we don't have to be too concerned about the trades being stuck open or anything like that, because of I'm trying to be in and out fairly quickly. Stats haven't updated since Friday yet. It's showing us further down than we actually are, showing us at a -2.1. Tomorrow morning or tomorrow afternoon, when this updates, this will flick round into the green. It's just a bit delayed. -30.42% on the year, 20% on the weekly, 11.37% on the daily. Risk is a little bit higher. I'm assuming it's because I'm just jumping in and out. I'm not holding stocks as we were. We've done 38 trades in total so far, 81.58% profitability. These are low because these are the ones we cut loose. 100% of gold, 55.56 profitable weeks. That should be higher. 5-day average holding time, which this will narrow down a little bit now as we're just jumping in and out of the market, and we're averaging 4.22 trades per week. So it's coming back to us well. It's doing okay. We're recovering the losses that we made where we cut those loose, and progressing well, I think. So like and subscribe. Hopefully this is some use to you, and I'll see you again next Sunday.